Alright, I'm just doing a quick little video this week. Charlotte, a little bit easier track, not as much technicality to it. So I'll just walk you through a couple laps here early in the run. This is lap 6 of an AI race coming to lap 7. Then I'll go further into the run and kind of show you if anything changed at all. If anything, you just kind of let it coast a little bit later into the run. But I'll walk through the first lap here. Give you a couple points to look at for lifting. So you can see I'm still full throttle. It's not until you're, I guess for here, there's Bank of America on the wall. This right here seems to be about where I'm lifting. I kind of do it as you're like right after the Charlotte banner on the wall. This banner, Charlotte, USA. You start your turn in and get off throttle. See, I'm completely off throttle. I'm going to give it a little bit of trail brake. What that'll do is that'll help shift some of the weight off the right front, kind of move it over to the side of the car, which will help with tire wear. Tire wear is not a huge issue here, but it's really quick. Quick lift, and then I'm easing back into the throttle. You can see I'm being kind of a little patient before I go back to full throttle. Again, that just kind of helps save tires a little bit. Here I'm blocking the AI driver. Turn 3, you're gonna start a little bit of a turn in. This white line that goes across the track is kind of a point I use for lifting and whatnot. You can go all the way to that line before you lift and start braking, but you probably want to back it up a little bit from that. This turn is a little bit tighter than the previous turn, especially later in the run, so you gotta kind of be a little bit more patient getting back into the throttle and really stick it to the bottom. But you see, I pretty much do it right before I hit that line. Same deal, completely off, and then ease back into the throttle. You can also not completely lift off the throttle and make it work. I'm just doing that to try and save tires for a little bit later in the run. Same here, right after Charlotte, USA, where the Bank of America is. I commit to a full throttle a little bit earlier there. Blocking the AI driver again here, but same deal. I did a little bit before the line there, if you saw. So I'm doing it right here. Let's see where it actually is. So, again, kind of Charlotte, USA that's on the wall. The white line goes where the Cup Series is. You can see I got back into the throttle a little bit more aggressive here, and I don't keep it to the bottom. If you miss this bottom, it tends to want to push out towards the wall almost the entire turn, and giving it more throttle is worse. It's going to burn the right front, and it's also just going to make you really tight. So it's almost best to get back out of the throttle and get it to plant and then get back into it. Because yeah, I definitely missed the bottom here. It works out fine early in the run, but as you go, I'm going to go later into the run here. I'll go the last few laps, see how it compares. Lap time fall off, if you compare, I went from a 29.6 down to a pretty much a 31 flat, so you're talking 2.5 fall off. So maybe a tick earlier. I'm terrible with the controls here. Kind of right after you pass Charlotte, USA, before the Bank of America. Let's see what kind of all throttle time I have here. I don't think I used any brake there. I'm just overall carrying slower speed out of each turn here, so that's why it seemed like I was a little bit more into the throttle. Same deal. Pretty consistent. I'm doing it right at end of the Charlotte, USA here on the wall. But then really, I commit to it pretty well, and it sticks to the bottom, but you can see I actually overdid it. The result was pancaking the wall off the turn. I'm just gonna obviously slow down really the rest of the lap. Not full throttle, and then I'm fully committed back to it. See how I handle it here. Charlotte, USA before the line. This time I stick it a little bit better to the bottom, but you can see I'm getting back into the throttle, and it's just pushing up off this line further and further and further. I think my right front at the end of this 30 lap run was 87, but if you really start pushing it that in 3 and 4, it's just going to get tight and tight and tight, and the right front may not wear percentage-wise, but if you get heat in, it's just going to lose that grip. So yeah, difference between beginning and later in the run isn't huge. You gotta be careful on the tires a little bit, but you don't have to save a lot here. This track should be a lot easier for people. I think I downshift here and put it in the wall. Yeah, you know, whatever. But I believe that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.